Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So, as you can see by the looks of the title and the screen today, I'm going to be bringing y'all a very special build today. Going to be called the Inside the Arc Score, and I'm telling you, this build is going to go crazy when it comes down to the breakdown of it, but also what this build is going to be able to do. Yesterday, I brought y'all a very similar build, but today, this is going to be completely different. And I just want y'all to know that I most definitely got y'all in store with some of the best builds. So, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody who needs to join the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications as well as hit that like button, y'all. Let's go ahead and get at least 50 likes on this video and be sure to share it with your family and friends. Let's go ahead and get into the making of this build. So, the very first thing that you want to go ahead and do is put this build under the small forward position. Go ahead and pick the pure sharpshooting pie chart, and then when it comes down to the breakdown of this pie chart for the physicals, go ahead and pick the very first one. I'm telling you all around, this is easily going to be the best one that you want to go about. I'm telling you again, this is easily one of my favorite builds that we're going to be making all year because of the build name that we will be getting. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade, starting with the finishing. I'm going to go with the maxed out close shot, driving layup, as well as the driving dunk. Now, we're not going to get any badges in this area, but let's go ahead and move on to the shooting and see what happens here. As you can see, mid-range shot maxed out at 92, three-point shot maxed out at a 79, free throw 64, and a post fade of 95. That's going to allow us to get 26 shooting badges. Then when it comes down to the playmaking side of things, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of 77, ball handle of 68, and a post control of 65. Now right there, that's going to give us 12 playmaking badges. Really solid all around. Let's go ahead and get into the defensive end now. I'm going to start with the interior. That's going to be a 47, perimeter 72, lateral quickness 72, steal 72, and then as for the block, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 61, and if you want to, you can even lower it to try to get extra badges in other areas. We're going to max out that defensive rebound as well, and that's pretty much going to give us the 7 badges we want here. But I'm telling you, anything you see that you feel like you would want to change with this build, go ahead and do so, because I promise you it is more about how this build is going to fit the way you play as well as what you want to go ahead and make it to be. There's always going to be a different way to make any type of build that I put out, especially with anybody else, so don't worry, there's not any wrong way to make any type of specific build. As long as you like what you get out of it, I promise you everything is going to work out. Let's go ahead and get started now. When it comes down to the breakdown of the body shape, I'm going to go with the builds. I really feel like that is going to be one of the best ones to work with. Then when it comes down to the height on this build, you really got to consider what this is going to be doing to the build, especially with the main stats on the left side here. So instead of raising the height, I'm actually going to go ahead and put this build to where I get it exactly to 6'7". Now, when it comes down to the weight, this comes down to what you want to do as well, but for me, I really feel like dropping it is going to be the best thing that you can do here. Also, I'm going to go ahead and put this to 182. That, for my liking, is going to be perfect, but remember, if you want to change it, you definitely can do so. It just comes down to how you see yourself using this build. Now, for the wingspan, this is going to be another crucial part about this build. I'm going to go ahead and put this to an exact 89.0, and for me, that is what's really going to work out when it comes down to it. Just know, if you feel like changing it, you can always do that, but again, it really just comes down to how you see it. Now, everything on the left side here is going to pretty much get a +8. You're going to be running with teammates that have Hall of Fame floor general and defensive leader, so that's going to give us a +4 to both sides of the ball, and then also including the boost that you're going to buy. As you can see right here, we get the post scoring takeover, shot creating, playmaking, and then the sharp shooting. So you got a lot of good options to pick from. Again, it just comes down to how you want to go about this and what you want to do. For me, I would have to say I would go with the shot creating takeover, because it's pretty much a mix of the sharp shooting and the playmaking in one with the ankle breakers. So I'm going to go with it this way, but again, if you want to go about it another, you definitely can do so. So let's go ahead and check out the build name, and as y'all can see, we have made the Inside the Arc Scorer, y'all. Now, the build is only going to continue to get even better, especially once we add badges on this build. But also consider what this build is going to be looking like in Takeover, maxed out, adding boosts and all of that good stuff that I mentioned before. So again, if you made it this far, just be sure to go ahead and hit that sub button, man. I hope y'all are enjoying. Go ahead and hit that like button. And now let's go ahead and take a look at what this build is going to be looking like. So first, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the defensive end. We're going to be getting a +8 here, so that perimeter defense will be in 80. Lateral quickness 80 as well. Steal going to be in the 80s, and defensive rebound will be exactly around a 79. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, ball handle will be in the 70s and around a 98 overall. You're going to be able to get a 90 ball handle, which is really going to allow you to get certain dribble moves, and also on top of all that, you're not going to be struggling to be stumbling with the ball. You're actually going to be able to dribble pretty smoothly. Then when it comes down to the post control, this is going to be in the 70s as well, so you have that to add to your game. But then for the shooting, a 99 post fade. Mid-range shot will be in the 90s, and that's because we get the +8 and then the +10 from the shooting. Mid-range shot definitely going to be a 99, but then for the close shot, this will be in the 90s, driving layup in the 70s, and then the driving dunk in the 70s as well. And this is all with boost, so take that into consideration. But then also remember, you also get a +4 to your physicals at 99 overall, and then you get another +4 from getting the gym rat badge. So essentially, your speed going to be an 80, acceleration going to go up to the 80s as well, and then when it comes down to that vertical, this is going to be pretty much a 68, but very close to what we want to get it to. Now let's just go ahead and take it a bit further into this video and get into the breakdown of these badges. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off and spread the wealth for the defensive end. I really always feel like spreading the wealth is definitely one good way to go about things. For me, when you go with a lot of bronze badges, when you don't have too many badges, it really shows you what some of these builds are going to be able to do. Now, I always don't recommend doing this, but if you wanted to, you can even go with silver badges. This just comes down to how you see yourself doing it and what you want to go about. But again, just know that you can always go about this based how you want to do it. Now, for me, when it comes down to the playmaking side of things, I have to go ahead and say handles for days is going to be one of the most important badges that you want to go ahead and throw on this build. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and say you can also spread the wealth if you wanted to go about it and try it that way. So like I said, handles for days first, then from there, I'm going with hyperdrive, and also you definitely want to go ahead and put on quick chain. Now we got 3 more remaining, so this comes down to what you want to do. You can go with tight handles, quick first step, triple threat juke, space creator, unpluckable, even stop and go. All of these are some really good options to pick from. Again, there's really not one way to go about it when it comes down to doing this kind of stuff. But as long as you feel comfortable with what you get, I promise you everything is going to work out in your favor. Now let's go ahead and get started with the shooting. I'm going to go ahead and say the most important badge when it comes down to helping you shoot at a much higher percentage is going to be Hot Zone Hunter as well as Blinders. Now, both of these are going to be on Hall of Fame. We still got a good amount of badges to use from here. So for me, I'm going to go with Sniper as well. Now, for the next 14, again, just remember, these really come down to what you want to do, how you see yourself using this build, and all of those kind of things that you can take into consideration. So also, I have to recommend, I would go with the Mismatch Expert. That is definitely going to be one that I would run. And also, for another setup, I'm going to go with Deadeye on Silver and then Corner Specialist. Green Machine is another really good badge, and then you always have Volume Shooter. Now we have 4 more remaining, and this really comes down to how you want to go about it from here. For my liking, I would definitely have to say, if you feel like you're more of a person who wants to spread the wealth, you definitely can do that. But again, there's badges like Chef, Circus 3s, and even difficult shots that you can go ahead and put on. But if you wanted to, you can even drop any tier of badge just to go ahead and put on Green Machine on Hall of Fame. That's another way that you can go about it. Again, just know, as long as you feel comfortable with the setup, I promise you everything is going to work out. And even right here, lucky number 7 is added. We're going to take off a few of other badges so we can still get Green Machine. And right there, everything is going to work out perfectly. We still got 1 more badge to use for the finishing. You could even go with 2 badges of here. It really just comes down to what you want to do. But for me, I would have to say it's going to be either 1 posterizer or you can go with Fearless Finisher. Both of these are good options. I'm going to go with Fearless Finisher, and this is a setup that I would be running with. We get 1 finishing badge, 26 shooting, 12 playmaking, and 7 defensive, y'all. I just want you to know that I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and most of all, I thank y'all for all the support that y'all have been giving me. Just know I got bangers lined up, so man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join the Rich Gang family RGF, be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications as well as hit that like button. Let's get at least 50 likes on this banger. Be sure to share it with your family and friends. And last but not least, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God and Rich out.